Hey folks, welcome back to some more Minecraft. I'm gonna be kind of low energy today because I have a splitting headache. Well, not quite splitting, but a stabbing headache, let's say. Stabbing just above my left eye socket, which is not fun. Whoop. Hello, skeleton with an enchanted bow. I will be taking that. Oh, there's another one of you down there in there. Yep, there you are. I see you. Faintly, but I see you. I'm just gonna have a quick little snack. Hi! Oh, you've got armor. I've whiffed. Come on. Bonk. Bonk. There we go. Hey, and I've got gold boots with feather falling. Well, I guess those will be my building boots. Yeah. Sure, why not? So, yeah, I haven't been doing daily updates lately because I've been forgetting and stressed and frustrated and all that good stuff. Well, not good stuff, you know what I mean. Anyway, I'm super out of it right now. I don't know why. Probably dehydrated. Because I woke up super thirsty this morning. And this is kind of similar to what happened last Sunday when I was working Pride for C89.5. Well, it's really more similar to what happened last Monday, or this past Monday, I guess I should say, where yeah, because it's not, man, I'm in basically no shape to record anything. Not that that's gonna stop me at all. Yeah, I mean, I know that basically nobody watches this, and it's, you know, pointless and self-defeating. But I've made a commitment to myself that I'm gonna make this stuff. So I make it, and I keep on making it, even though nobody watches it. You know, it's funny, when I was setting this to made for kids, it was regularly getting, you know, a couple hundred views, and then when I stopped, it tanked, but I don't know, that just feels kind of disingenuous. And that is, you know, for better and for worse, something that I have very strong feelings about. Like, I don't do any sort of attempts at advertising or growing my brand because I feel like that's also disingenuous. Maybe it's another form of self-harm, because I have been known to do that quite a bit in some, shall we say, rather unconventional ways. I am so exhausted right now. And honestly, I mean, it's weird, right? Because I'm super physically exhausted, but mentally I've got a ton of energy, or I feel like I do. And that's, you know, how it pretty much constantly is with me. My brain's constantly firing on all cylinders, and then my body is just not there for it. And as soon as I, you know, start trying to concentrate on anything other than what I'm hyper-focusing on in the moment, it's basically impossible. Which, you know, obviously that's pretty frustrating. Because it's like, I can't even get my own damn brain to cooperate with what I want to do and what I want it to do. But I mean, hey, you know, que sera, sera, right? Okay, let's just make a block of coal real quick and get some more iron smelting up. I mean, I've got a ton of iron already, but could always do with just the slightest bit more. It's frustrating because I need so much. Like, I need more diamonds, I need more charcoal for torches, and yes, I know you can make them with coal, but I prefer to use the coal as coal blocks because that's more efficient. Yeah. It's a whole thing. Okay. So cutting back in here, there's a lot of skeletons. A lot of, well, I guess there were just the two. Alright, that's fine. Let's see, what do we got? Yeah, I'm just exploring this area, because I saw some iron in here. And yeah. Sorry, as mentioned, I am real tired and worn out right now. I don't know if it's normal or if it's just me. Hang on, my mic should be closer. There we go. I don't know if it's normal or if it's just me, but whenever I have, like, strong emotions, it just completely drains me for the next few days. And, you know, that goes for both positive and negative emotions. Yesterday was a very, very, very stressful day for me. For a number of reasons that I don't really want to go into. And as a result, I am running on empty right now. It also doesn't help that I'm, you know, dehydrated, as I think I mentioned. I don't quite know. Pretty sure I mentioned. Yeah, no, I did. I did. Anyway, yeah, you get brain glitch, Ben, today. I feel horrible. Exhausted. Just generally unwell. You know, as you do. But, yeah. Oh, right, I'm not playing modded. I have to manually do it. It's fine, though. It's all good. There. 20... So, or no, 7... Oh. 17 iron blocks. That is a hell of a lot of iron. Oh boy. Well. I think I'm actually going to go back to my regular spelunking area, because diamonds are my priority right now. I need diamonds more than I need, you know, anything else, really. Go ahead and plop that in. Plop that in. Plop. 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 Okay. And plop, I guess. There we go. Right. I'm probably gonna need more food before long, but, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Get to that bridge when we cross it. And all other variations of those phrases. I do actually kind of wonder what is down there. But I feel like it would be a little bit suicidal to try and investigate. Same with that. It'll, you know, at some point I'll have to do a bit of excavating and investigate it. Oh, Enderman. Enderman would be why there's those blocks there. Okay, yeah, that checks out. That makes sense. Okay. Let's see if in the last week I have managed to remember where the damn thing is. The diamonds and all that. Oh, nope. Memory just kicked in. Okay, good. I'm good. I'm good. I know what I'm doing. My head hurts like all get out, but I know what I'm doing at least. Probably gonna want to investigate over there at some point. Man, I am so thirsty right now. I don't get it. I just had like 5 glasses of water with dinner. Why am I still thirsty? Like, yes, I know I'm thirsty because I'm dehydrated. But at the same time, it's like, this is not how being dehydrated is supposed to work. Like, it's supposed to just be, you're dehydrated, so you drink water, and then you're fine. You know, simple and effective. But no, apparently it's you're dehydrated, so drink 3 times your body weight in water, and you might feel a little bit better. But then you'll have to do the same thing every day for the next week. It's just, oh, gold. Not the most useful thing, although I guess it is actually pretty handy for powered rails and, not being brutally dismembered by piglins in the nether. So that'll be a plus. Anyway, returning to the sort of more like channel updatey feel of these things. I might as well spoil what I'm working on. So I'm trying to put together a more TF tutorials. I do not have the patience to deal with Source Filmmaker, so it won't be anything like that. But you know, the occasional TF2sdays where I actually have, like, I'll try to have at the very least a live commentary video for TF2 every Tuesday. Oh god. Okay. I'm just gonna... Why did that damage me? What? Okay. Right. Just gonna do a little peeking. No, I don't care about the zombie. That was a reaction shot. Go. Go. Cool. Okay. Apple. Okay. I am not dying here. I refuse. Okay, that's fine. Backup sword. Oh, 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 okay. Yep. Okay. Even though it's not strictly efficient, I am saving my goddamn life here. Ha, there we go. Well, okay. Oh, oh hello, zombie. Bonk. Bonk. And... no, you're gonna be... bonk. Okay. Gravel's useless. saw that moss and I thought it was a creeper. Heart was in my throat for a second there. So yes, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, I do not have the patience for SFM, but I am going to, like, that's what I've been sort of for the last few weeks referring to sort of obstrusely. I've been trying to gather footage. No, no, you stay away. You stay away. Oh. Okay. Okay. Fuck me. Alright, this is fine. We are fine. Everything is fine. Everyone remain calm. Remain clam, everybody. Let's see, did I miss anything up there? No, I did not. Yeah, you know I'm a TF2 player, even in Minecraft, because I don't look up. My head is absolutely killing me. But yes, sorry, getting back to what I was saying. I'm, you know, gathering gameplay footage takes a while, and I have to gather the footage. Like so here's roughly the process that I'm working with for these tutorials. Because the speed one was an absolute dog shit mess, because I was basically just doing it live with no script, no prep, no, you know, the video and audio were the same thing at the same time because I was just recording it last minute. This is not something that you can record last minute. This is, you know, this is a long-term project that's not going to come out quickly. But the idea is basically, because the in-game tutorials are, well, first off, the only one that's really a tutorial from them, like a proper gameplay tutorial as we understand them now and not in the distant past of 2007, when... Why did I hear a creeper? Okay, anyway. Distant past of 2007, when Pokemon Emerald, which is one of my favorite games of all time, also came out. You know, if you look at the Pokemon games, they are sort of a masterpiece in tutorials, and also a masterpiece in incredibly frustrating tutorials. But, you know, then you compare that, like, to the American market at the time, and you see stuff like TF2, where the tutorial is, lol, go fuck yourself, pretty much. Like, it's... If you've never tried playing the in-game tutorials for TF2, I don't blame you. Most people, have not. And it really shows. Not because they, you know, are missing critical info that they would get if they played the tutorial, but because they don't know that there is one at all. Yeah, it's... The in-game tutorial on TF2, if you've never touched it, is basically just a tutorial on the fundamental mechanics of first-person shooters. Which makes sense, because at the time it was a relatively new genre. I mean, you know, obviously Doom and Quake, but this was, you know, this was the first, well, the first one that was really dedicated to the sort of large server, you know, 24 versus 24 type format that TF2 has. Obviously, that format does not work at all competitively, which is why competitive TF2 is either Highlander with one of every class or sixes. But, you know, that's its own whole thing. Either way, right? It's a pretty fundamentally, like, it's basically just an intro to mover shooter controls, which, considering that it was one of the earlier FPSs, particularly on, Xbox and definitely on PC, it was, it made a bit of sense, right? And it's kind of funny because if you look at, the other games that Valve made for the Orange Box, right? Stuff like Portal. It's a very similar kind of tutorial style. The problem is that kind of tutorial style does not work, just fundamentally does not work in a game like TF2. And the main reason for that is, well, it's a class-based shooter where every class has different fundamental mechanics or uses the same fundamental mechanics in different ways. And if you have, say, a new player who is very experienced with other FPS games but has never touched TF2, even if they've played stuff like Overwatch, they will have completely the wrong idea about how the game works. Not because they are missing information, per se, but because they have all these preconceptions from other games. And TF2 doesn't really play by many of the rules that a lot of other games do. And that, it's also in many ways, to some extent, a solved game, as much as something that is so dependent on player skill can be a solved game. But, just about everyone playing is either very new or very experienced. Because with the Overwatch 2 letdown, a lot of people have been picking up TF2 instead of Overwatch. Because, they've heard, Overwatch is just a ripoff of TF2, and they think, okay, I might as well try the original, right? And so the end result of that is TF2 gets a larger player base, while Overwatch has a very drastically shrinking one. But the result of that is that there is a very wide skill gulf, where you have the people who've been playing this game for years. Like, I started playing in 2012, right? So you have the people who've been playing for, if they were some of the original players, the people who picked it up back when it first launched in 2007, 2008. Those are people, even if you just go with the people who picked it up when it came on PC, that's 2009. They have been playing for 14 years now. 14 years of practice with this game. And there are a ton of basic fundamental mechanics that have been added, discovered, or sort of adapted from glitches that just are not in the tutorials. Like, you want to learn how to rocket jump? You got to use a community server in the Jump Academy family. But you won't know to look for that if you're just starting out. You have to have someone tell you, hey, go to this place. Because how would you know, right? Same thing with wanting to sticky jump. If you want to learn the core mechanics of basically any class, it's... the tutorial... The core tutorial just tells you, here is how to play an FPS. Then you have the basic, quote-unquote, tutorial for Soldier, which is, just, here is how playing with other people works. Which, again, coming from stuff like Doom and Quake, I can see why they thought might help, but nowadays it's really more of a hindrance because it just eats up your time and you're expecting useful information. It's just like, yeah, no, none of that here. So, yeah, then there's the tutorials for the other classes. Like Demo Man's tutorial really does help because it, teaches you about sticky charging and whatnot. But I mean, whoop. Goodbye. Oh! You try and tell me that the engineer tutorial, which literally only tells you about moving and upgrading your sentry and other buildings, and actually not even moving, it just tells you to destroy and rebuild them. It doesn't tell you that you can move them, if I remember correctly, because it's from before the engineer could even move buildings. And that's part of what I mean when I say that there have been mechanics added since those early days. And on top of that, the only classes that have a tutorial attached to them are Soldier, which is, Soldier in modern day TF2 is one of the highest skill floor classes. And yet everyone picks it up because it's the one that the most basic tutorial is attached to. Or because they think it's simple. It's not. If you want to be a good soldier player in TF2, you need to know how to rocket jump. You need to know how to air strafe very effectively, which is part of rocket jumping. You need to know how to take advantage of, stuff like enemy pyros who can air blast, which is another thing that has been added since TF2 was released and is nowhere in the tutorials. You need to know how to do things like, I don't know, say, pay attention to your environment, which, sure, is a pretty fundamental skill, but the things that you need to be paying attention to, that's what you need to learn. Like, for instance, the sorts of sounds that a backstab or a decloaking spy makes. The sounds that, your teammates will make. The sound that a revved heavy around a corner waiting to jump scare you makes. All sorts of, TF2 is a very sound-based game, unsurprisingly. Oh. Okay. Run. Okay. Yeah. So, anyway. There's a lot more to it. And part of what I'm describing right now is just basic game knowledge and is useful for all of the classes. But, again... Soldier in particular, like... Oh, that was so close. Okay, I'm going back to the surface now. Yep. No shield is scary. Anyway, I'm going to head back to the surface and I'm going to sign off there. But while I'm heading back, I just want to sort of wrap up this thought. Soldier and Demo are classes that can trade their health for ridiculous mobility. That's, like... That is not acknowledged anywhere within the tutorial, really. And that's unfortunate because it's really core to the class. Well, class is. Scout doesn't even have a tutorial and is one of the highest skill floor classes. Arguably the second highest. With, competitive spy being the highest, just because it requires the ability to act like literally every other class in order to, be convincing with disguises, which can fool experienced players. I am an experienced player. I've been playing TF2 for over 10 years, and I still get fooled by disguises all the time. Not bad disguises, mind you. Good disguises. You know, sort of by definition, right? A bad disguise is one that doesn't fool someone, and a good disguise is one that'll fool anyone. But yeah, it's just the tutorials are so incredibly lacking because there's only 4 of them as opposed to the 9 classes. And even the ones that are there are basically just bare bones, horribly out of date, and don't actually tell you anything. And unless you want to, you know, binge watch a bunch of different videos, plus read the entire strategies section of the wiki. Hang on, light level check here. Yep, okay, so I need a torch. There, sure. Unless you want to read the entire strategy section of the wiki, you're not really going to get that much useful info. So, I want to just make relatively straightforward videos, partly, you know, summing up what the wiki has to say in terms of optimal strategy, but also partly just breaking down the core fundamentals of how stuff works. You know, like, here's another thing, right? Scout double jumps. There is no tutorial that tells you that Scout double jumps. The only real, like, in-game tutorial advice that you can get that's up to date is from loading screen tips. Loading screen tips. The thing that most people don't even see because they have a unique HUD, or a custom HUD rather. It is hardly an ideal place for that sort of information. And yes, I know new players are not going to have custom HUDs 99% of the time. But the fact remains, right? The HUD, like, that's beside the point. In order to actually see those loading screen tips and the like, well, they're also technically death screen tips, but whatever. You have, like, you only see those either on a loading screen or while you are dead actively playing as a class. Which means that there's no setup or system really for you to just learn unless you go to community sources. And I'm not saying that I want this to be integrated as part of TF2 or that I expect it to be, but even the community sources are kind of lacking because there's no real concise tutorials. And I just want to make a nice, straightforward tutorial series that's just, here is what this class does. Here is how it is countered. Here is where it excels. Here are the subclasses. And it's not going to be horribly in-depth because other people have done the horribly in-depth stuff. No one has done the concise, new player-friendly stuff. It's all, okay, so you've got 500 hours in TF2 and you've gotten frustrated that there's no tutorial. Here is what to do. Like, there's nothing that's beginner targeted. And so I want to break into that market. Anyway, I've been recording for way too long. You can tell that I got so sucked up in my little rant there that I stopped noticing my headache. And now that I'm done, it's back. So, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.